You're about to learn something that most men only understand after it's too late. If you're a man in your late 30s or 40s and women who once ignored you are suddenly paying attention, messaging first, being agreeable and asking about commitment, this is not the moment you think it is. It feels like validation. It feels like justice. It feels like you finally made it. But here's the uncomfortable truth no one is saying out loud. Nothing about you suddenly became rare. What became rare were their options. And once you see this clearly, you'll never experience attention the same way again. Think back honestly. Were you invisible in your 20s? Overlooked while louder, flashier men got chosen? Told to just be patient while patience gave you nothing in return? Now fast forward. The same women who filtered you out with ruthless precision are suddenly flexible. Suddenly open-minded. Suddenly serious. Men interpret this as delayed reward, as proof that hard work pays off. But markets don't reward morality. They respond to leverage. And leverage shifts with time. This isn't about bitterness. It's not about blaming women. It's about understanding a pattern that repeats across every modern dating system and why men who misunderstand it often walk straight into resentment, rushed commitments, and quiet regret. Because attention driven by desire feels completely different than attention driven by urgency. One chooses you. The other settles on you. And if you can't tell the difference, you will pay for it with years of your life. Today we're breaking down why average men feel wanted later but not for the reason they think, how dating leverage actually moves over time, and how to tell when interest is genuine versus deadline-driven. This isn't red pill. This isn't feel-good motivation. This is Apex Aura, where we replace confusion with clarity. Stay with me. Because once you understand what's really happening, you don't chase attention anymore. You choose that. If you are a man in your 40s and women are suddenly paying attention to you, women who wouldn't have looked twice at you 15 years ago, this isn't the victory lap you think it is. I know that sounds harsh, but stay with me because once you see what's really happening, you can't unsee it. Welcome back. Today we are talking man-to-man about relationships, power, and self-development using practical psychology you can actually apply in the real world, not feel-good theory. We are breaking down why women over 40 are suddenly interested in average men and why it has nothing to do with you finally making it. Ask yourself something honestly. When exactly did you become more attractive? Was it at 42 when your hairline started backing up like it saw a ghost? Was it when your metabolism slowed down and pizza stopped being your friend? Was it when work stress carved permanent lines into your face? Be honest with yourself. You didn't suddenly turn into a movie star. You didn't wake up one morning and unlock some hidden male glow-up achievement. So, if you didn't change, what did? The answer is uncomfortable but simple. The market changed. For years, the dating market worked in one direction. Women, especially young women, were the buyers. Men were the sellers. And when you're the buyer in a market flooded with options, you get picky, extremely picky. You can demand premium quality for average effort. You can filter out 90% of what's available and still have backups. Now imagine that same market years later. Supply dries up. Demand doesn't. Suddenly, the people who were rejecting offers left and right are competing with each other for what's left. And the sellers they dismissed years ago? Some are gone, some checked out, and some decided peace is better than chaos. That's the shift we're watching play out right now. Picture a woman at 25 working an entry-level job. She's making a modest salary, has roommates, drives an old car, and is still figuring life out. But on dating apps, it is a completely different story. She's matching with surgeons, consultants, and tech guys pulling six figures. Men in their mid-30s are taking her to rooftop bars, high-end restaurants, and weekend trips. They compete for her attention. They wine and dine her. And here's the illusion that forms. She thinks, these are my men, this is my level. What she doesn't understand, and most women at that age don't, is that attention is cheap, while commitment is expensive. Those men aren't choosing her for the long haul. They're enjoying her youth, her energy, and the fact that she has no emotional scar tissue from decades of failed relationships. She's fun. She's light. She's temporary. But she doesn't see the difference. She sees matches, dates, and attention. So, when a 27-year-old guy making a decent living, living in a clean apartment, and actually interested in building something real comes along, she swipes left. Not tall enough, not ambitious enough, not exciting enough. She can afford to be selective, or so it seems. Here's where the math kicks in. Height filter, 6 feet and up. That wipes out most men instantly. Income filter, 6 figures. Education, lifestyle, travel. By the time she's done, she's looking at maybe 2 or 3% of men. And those men know it. They know they're rare. They know they have options. And men with options don't rush into commitment, especially when they can keep dating younger women year after year. But at 25, time feels infinite. She's told to focus on herself, her career, and her experiences. Relationships can wait. She'll settle down later when she's ready with someone who meets all her standards. And right here is the open loop most men miss because nothing feels wrong yet. The system appears to be working until it doesn't. Lock this idea in, the market shift is real. If you are getting value from this, subscribe and join a community of men who refuse to be confused or blindsided by dating dynamics they were never taught to understand. Fast forward a few years. She is 32 now. On paper, her life looks better. She's moved up at work, making more money, living in a nicer apartment with better clothes and more confidence. But the dating market is not improving with her resume. The men who used to take her out when she was 25, the established guys in their late 30s and early 40s, are still dating. They're just not dating her anymore. They're dating women who are 24, 25, and 26. Women who have exactly what she had before. Youth, optimism, fewer emotional defenses, and no accumulated disappointment. She's no longer the youngest option in the room. She's now competing with women 5 to 8 years younger for the same men. At first, the change is subtle. Fewer matches, slightly less impressive profiles, fewer men offering real effort. But here's the dangerous part. Her standards don't adjust because her self-image doesn't adjust. In her mind, she's still the woman who could pull top-tier men. She remembers the attention, not the context. She remembers the dinners, not the lack of commitment. So, when the dating apps start delivering men who are solid but unremarkable, stable, emotionally available, and genuinely interested, she still filters them out. Because compared to the illusion she lived under at 25, these men feel like a downgrade. And this is where the coping mechanisms kick in. She asks, where are all the good men? She claims everyone's already taken or that men are intimidated by successful women. These explanations feel comforting. They protect the ego. They say nothing about her changed, but the world is broken. But the truth is simpler and far more uncomfortable. The market shifted and she didn't update her expectations. Somewhere between 36 and 40, the clock she ignored in her 20s starts getting loud. Not metaphorically but biologically. If she wants children, the window isn't closing soon, it's already closing. Fertility drops sharply after 35, and after 40, it falls off a cliff. That's not opinion, that's medical reality. And even if she doesn't want children, there's still a problem. The men she filtered for, the high-status, attractive men in their 40s, are mostly gone. They are married, in long-term relationships, or deliberately dating younger women. The ones who are single often come with serious baggage or a strong resistance to commitment. So the dating pool doesn't just shrink, it evaporates. Let's talk economics for a moment because this isn't personal, it's structural. In any market, value depends on supply and demand. At 25, women have overwhelming demand. They can be selective. They control the pace. At 40, demand drops sharply while competition increases. Younger women are still in the game. Older men still have options. The leverage flips. Men experience the opposite arc. At 25, most men are replaceable, not established, and still building while competing with older, more successful men. At 40, if a man did the work, built stability, income, and discipline, his value increases and his dating pool expands. Women from 25 to 45 are suddenly on the table. That's the correction. And brother, this is the moment when average men start getting messages that confuse the hell out of them. Women initiating, offering compliments, and showing flexibility that never existed before. And men think, finally, I made it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You didn't rise, their options collapsed. Consider the tone change. Conversations shift from chemistry to logistics and timelines. What are you looking for becomes the first question, not the fifth. The urgency isn't romantic, it's procedural. And that urgency matters because when desire is replaced by deadlines, relationships start on unstable ground. This is where things stop being theoretical and start getting personal because once the market corrects, choices have to be made. And the emotional cost of those choices is something no one really talks about, especially to men. Think of a guy in his mid-40s with a decent job and a normal life. In his 20s, he was invisible. Dating apps were a ghost town. He'd send out messages and hear back maybe once every 20 tries. Dates were rare. Then something strange happened in his early 40s. Women started messaging him, and not just anyone. Educated, professional women who would have walked right past him 15 years earlier. He might ask himself if he changed or if he is more attractive now. The truth is he might be less attractive by conventional standards, but the women messaging him have seen their options dry up. That's the part men don't want to believe at first because attention feels good, especially if you went decades without it, but you have to look at why it's happening. Here are the patterns you need to watch for. First, urgency. She moves fast. She talks about exclusivity early. She mentions marriage, moving in, or kids sometimes within weeks. This isn't passion, it's pressure. She's not reacting to you, she's reacting to time. Second, verbalized exceptions. She tells you straight up, I usually date taller men, or I'm normally attracted to more adventurous guys. Translation, you're not her type, you're her adjustment. Third, visible disappointment. Your apartment is fine but not what she imagined. Your car is practical, not impressive. You can feel her recalibrating in real time, lowering expectations while trying not to resent it. And resentment is the poison here. When people settle, they resent it. Even if the settling is logical, even if the partner is good, that resentment doesn't disappear. It leaks out in criticism, in comparisons, and in dissatisfaction that never quite goes away. Now add divorce into the mix and it gets heavier. If she's divorced, her ex-husband is never really gone. Financial ties, kids, and history remain. You're not being evaluated on your own terms. You're being compared to a memory that's been selectively edited over time. The bad fades and the good gets romanticized. If there are kids, understand this clearly, you will never be first. Her schedule, stress, finances, and emotional energy are all influenced by an ex who will always have access through those children. You inherit the aftermath of a war you didn't fight. And here's the psychological trap she's in. She knows deep down that she waited too long, that she filtered too harshly, and that she gambled on indefinite access to top-tier men and lost. But admitting that would destroy her self-image. So the regret gets redirected at you. You become the symbol of compromise. Keep your eyes open because this isn't about blaming anyone, it's about seeing clearly. Let's talk about power, choice, and what men in their 40s can actually do with the leverage they never had before and how not to waste it. If you've stayed with me this far, you're probably feeling relief and tension. Relief because things finally make sense. Tension because now you realize you actually have choices and responsibility. Let's ground this in reality, not feelings but numbers. If you're a man in your 40s, your dating pool is wide in a way it never was at 25. You can realistically date women from their mid-20s to mid-40s. That's roughly a 20-year span. If you're financially stable, emotionally grounded, and reasonably healthy, you are viable across that entire range. That alone is power most men never experienced when they were younger. Now look at the other side. A woman at 40 is dating in a narrow corridor. Most desirable men her age are taken, dating younger, or extremely cautious. Younger men in their 30s are often aiming younger than her. Older men in their 50s come with health issues, energy gaps, or heavy baggage. Her realistic pool is maybe 5 to 10% of what it was at 25. That's not cruelty, that's math. Then there's fertility, the topic everyone wants to dodge. But you can't understand dating after 40 without facing it. A woman at 25 has a much higher chance of pregnancy per cycle compared to a woman at 40. By 45, it drops significantly. Complications and risks rise. Men don't face that same cliff. A man can father healthy children well into his 40s and 50s. This asymmetry shifts everything. It creates urgency on one side and optionality on the other. So when a woman over 40 suddenly takes interest in you, understand this clearly. You are not her dream, you are her reality. There's a difference. That doesn't mean she can't grow to care about you. People do grow to love what they initially chose for practical reasons. But don't lie to yourself about what you represent in her life trajectory. Urgency is not flattery. Fast timelines are not romance. Pressure is not desire. And here's the mistake men make at this stage. They confuse attention with validation. After decades of being overlooked, it feels intoxicating. But settling works both ways. Just because someone is willing to choose you now doesn't mean you're obligated to choose them back. You have 3 real options. Option 1, date women your age. This can work, but only if you enter it with eyes open. Understand the baggage, the timelines, the comparisons, and the potential resentment. Some women are self-aware and emotionally healthy, but many aren't. Discernment matters. Option 2, date younger women. If you're established, disciplined, and grounded, women in their late 20s or early 30s may find you highly attractive. You offer stability, leadership, and perspective. They offer youth, optimism, and fewer emotional scars. The dynamic is often cleaner, slower, and more organic. You're not racing a clock. Option 3, stay single. Protect your peace, invest in your life, and build friendships, health, and purpose. You don't owe anyone a relationship just because interest finally showed up. The common thread here is choice, conscious choice. Dating markets aren't moral systems. They're economic systems governed by supply, demand, and value. Youth and fertility have value. Resources, stability, and status have value. These preferences aren't social inventions. They're evolutionary, deep, ancient, and unchanged by modern slogans. What changes is who holds leverage at different stages of life. Women tend to have more leverage early. Men who build tend to gain leverage later. It's not fair. It's not equal. It just is. So, if you're a man in your 40s and women are suddenly noticing you, don't romanticize it. Understand it. Use it wisely. Demand genuine desire, not deadline-driven selection. Demand respect, not quiet resentment. You deserve to be chosen because someone wants you, not because their alternatives ran out. The market shifted. You finally have leverage. If this perspective resonated with you, it is time to claim your choice. Don't be reactive. Be intentional. If you want more insights into the hidden dynamics of modern dating and how to navigate them with clarity, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Join our community of men who are building better lives through truth and discipline. Your time is your most valuable asset. Don't trade it for someone else's expired clock. See you in the next one.